y'all, welcome to Cooking on the Farm. I'm Rachel. So this is our collaboration for the survival seeds. If you haven't checked that out, there'll be a link below. There are so many people that are involved in this because everyone can teach you something. So yes, I did get my hair cut. I haven't measured it. My goal was 20 inches for a donate. So we'll see. I'll get back to you. So you can see everything is going crazy. Our dome lid, these are just starting to touch. And so they're probably, well, my hand span is about a 6.5, and they are at the top of that. So they are cool with these domes. Check them out. They are so cool. The squash, all of them came up. Beets looking great. That's what we're going to up pot a bunch of these today. These are the beans. These are definitely getting up potted because we put 2 in each little pod. So they're getting up potted definitely. Tomatoes looking good, but they're not getting enough sun because of the beans. They're reaching. You can see some of them are super tall because they're reaching for the sun. And then these guys are just starting to break through. There's one here, one right here. What is this? This is a
few peppers.
Is it a pepper? Yep. And then these guys are onions, and we only have about 8. Oh, no. There's a few more. They're just little. So those are just starting to pop through. So these guys are staying in here. But right now we're taking care of like this half. So I've been soaking these for, I don't know, 20 minutes-ish. I put warm water in it because I don't want my hands cold. You can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in here. So I'm going to carefully just kind of plop it in my hand like so. And then kind of like what I've done in the past, just pull them out individually. Normally I don't start my beets. Normally I just plant them straight in the ground. They do great for me. But I wanted to try starting them all and just see what happens. If I like that better, I think it's easier probably to start them in the ground because this is going to be a pain.
I think what we'll get that's better out of this is you're going to be able to separate these out now when we plant them so they aren't all cramped together.
Yeah, so that'll be the only good thing is I can separate them now because when you sprinkle the seeds in, you get a lot of them that plant together. And you end up having to thin them. Well, I'm thinning them now. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting 1 in each one of these little pods. Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, look at the roots on that guy. So when I put them in the ground, I can separate them out where I want them, and then they'll have a better chance at getting full size and not being so dwarfed, I guess. I don't think you can ever have too many beets. We grew beets a few years ago, pickled them. Oh my gosh, they were amazing. We just used our last one a couple weeks ago. And then this past year, we did salt beets. One of my aunts just said, yeah, just use the salt. And they are so delicious. So anyway, we wanted to talk to y'all about our plans for this contest. We have our garden set for like where everything's going to go. We wanted to be in this collaboration, but our garden's already set. So we've been brainstorming about like how can we, do this collaboration without changing our garden again. And so David and I were praying about it. We went to the store. We were talking about, getting a bunch of buckets and all this stuff. And then the lady actually at Ace Hardware, because we needed a extension cord, was saying, well, have you thought about buckets? Like food grade buckets? And I'm like, oh. And so we're going to show you guys how to do a garden on a budget. So these guys are pretty root bound. I mean, that's a big root ball.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So we will not be up potting these after today. They will just go from this container. I break the bottom out when I plant the peat pods out. I break the bottom out just so that the roots gonna go out. I mean, yes, there's a couple roots sticking out of here, but it makes it easier for the roots to bust out. Yeah, see, there's a bunch of roots coming out of here. Ugh, I hate busting them out, but they need to be separated. I didn't think they would get quite so rooted so quickly. Wow, look at that. Waltham butternut squash. Yeah, it's super fast growing. Yeah. So, and it's hardy. Like, this stem is super hardy on here. So anyways, packing them in here. So when I pull these apart, I'm not ripping them apart. I'm moving them super slow so they're not, I mean, yes, they are breaking a few roots here and there, but they're not getting, I'm not ripping them all out. They're just kind of untangling. We're gonna fly by the seat of our pants here and just try to do this one and then see what happens. We might end up just leaving them in these and then planting them in the ground because there's a lot of roots. I don't want to break too many roots. I mean, the roots are leaving the ground. They're coming up out of the ground. So, Lord, protect our little plants. Whoa.
That came out, looks like pretty
Look at
good.
that. Look how thick those guys are.
I know.
All right. So again, I'm just lightly, slowly pulling them apart. Look at that.
Wow.
I'm just gonna put some soil in here. And this is damp soil that's got warm water in it. One, so that my hands don't freeze. And two, it gives them a little bit of a start. You can see the beans where they split. Right here, these are two little beans. They've been falling off. So if the roots don't want to come apart, just kind of lightly wiggle your fingers. Kind of like when you're pulling a knot out of really long hair. You don't want to pull it, you just kind of wiggle it. That's kind of what I'm doing, knocking some of the dirt off. Whoa, look at that root.
He was like, I'm going down and I'm finding that water.
If you go cuckoo and just amazed at how to grow things and how God works, please tell me. Tell me what your favorite thing to grow is, because this is just like, I mean, yes, I know I can grow stuff. It boggles my mind, though, that every year we can grow food. Not quite enough to live on completely, but
At least not yet.
a lot. We are now going to divide the tomatoes just because seeing the roots on those beans, I'm sure the tomatoes aren't that, root bound, but with tomatoes, if you want a super, super hardy tomato, if you replant it down to where just the leaves are showing, you're going to get a ton more roots, and it's going to get thicker and more of a stalk instead of like a little twiglet. So I'm just going to pull one of these out, plant it in here. So then the one that's still in that pot, I'm literally just going to dig a little bit of a hole and bend it over and push it in. Piece of cake. So if you pull a tomato and you break off all its roots, that's fine. You just literally plant it up to the leaves and you're good. Onions, I'm gonna leave them because they don't really get a bulb for quite a while, so I think they're fine. So the beans look a little bit sad, their leaves. One, because they were touching the top of the humidity dome. They don't like to get wet. I think a lot of people have heard Sunday's live. They were talking about watering too late in the day and then having moisture on your leaves. It gets kind of like shrivelly. So that's kind of what's happening here. And also we divided them, so they're kind of in shock a little bit. So we're gonna put the humidity dome, we're gonna dry it out, humidity dome back on tonight just to keep the warm in. Put them back in front of the heater. And then tomorrow take the dome off and then just let them be, because then they can start hardening off, which is where the wind kind of blows on them, which we have, obviously the heater blows. So they can start hardening off, and then they'll be more ready to go outside. These guys, we're going to let them, continue to grow for probably a couple more weeks or until they start touching the top also. So we have a habanero plant that is not part of the collab. So he wanted to put it in here because I'm going to put this on a heat mat with a dome. I have a new lid here, dry, not been used yet. I'm hoping that it will. They're barely touching the top now. All right, you took this, trade me. So we took our shelves and dropped them and made more. So we made 3 more layers, I guess, so that they all be in the same surface. They were a lot higher, but this way they could all be the same height, get the same amount of sunlight. This guy is away from the window, but I was like, I don't think I can shove that. No, I can't shove another one in there. I don't know if we could, because this one's a little bit lower than the rest. If we could do them, I don't know. Maybe we'll reconfigure it. But the ones that are in the cups are not for the collab. The ones that are in the peat pods are. So you can see this is dry in here because I don't want a lot of water on those. I might actually open a vent on the top so that it doesn't get a lot of condensation. This was a new lid, so it doesn't have condensation yet. This is also on a heat mat. There's a heat mat under there because this has onions and peppers. Peppers like to be really warm. And these guys are our beets, and they look beautiful. So yeah, we're just going to continue to show you guys what we're doing. This ended up being a lot more in depth than I thought it was going to be because I didn't realize that there were so many roots that these guys had gotten that big and that hardy in such a very short period of time. Here's the collab. The link will be down below in the description. Check that out. Check out all the other channels. It is a really cool collab. Like we just showed you, all of our plants are huge. I can't get over it. It's only been like less than 3 weeks. They're growing really fast. So these ones are really hardy. There are varieties that I haven't done before, which is really cool because it's always good to try a new variety. Yeah, I've tried tomatoes, but this is a new variety for us. So anyways, from my kitchen to yours, I hope you guys have a great planting season and growing season. God bless.
Bible Seed Update 2.0.
2.0, what does that mean? And today is kind of a recap, not a recap, what's the word?
It's an update.
Ooh, that one didn't hatch, so, or whatever. There's 2 of them there that didn't germinate. Hatch? Really? Where'd it go? What the heck? It was in there. What? All right, guys, we are flying, but he doinked me.
Sorry.
So we're just gonna put the humidity. Oh, I just dumped a bunch of mud on my lap, or dirt on my lap. Oh my gosh. So let's get these guys. I'm playing in the dirt.
Dome's off.
I'm playing in the dirt, y'all. The description will be down below.
The link.
The link for the description.